Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kelly Anderson, and I would like to welcome all of you to ISS Group's Business Process Improvement Demonstration titled Utilizing Connectivity Technology. Connectivity technology being defined as the cloud, mobile devices, and social media. In this 30-minute presentation, my colleague Mike Markowitz will demonstrate how the 21st century organization uses our process digitization methodology, along with our business process improvement solutions, for the very latest in connectivity technology. As one of our clients, Abbott Laboratories, discovered, an organization can dramatically improve productivity by approving and rejecting requisitions, quickly referencing a requisition inquiry, by which, by the way, includes a time-stamped audit trail and much more from your mobile device. Additionally, you can receive email alerts, text messages, and access your social media links. We'll show you just how this is accomplished in this short 30-minute session. Our agenda for today's demonstration includes an iPurchase process digitization overview. We will create a requisition using iPurchase and submit the requisition for approval routing using our advanced approval routing technology. We will also demonstrate how iPurchase can interface with mobile devices to approve or reject an action using mobile connectivity. Again, welcome to the Process Digitization Methodology webinar, connecting people and processes with rules-based workflow technology. With that, I'll pass the control over to Mike to begin the presentation. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Kelly. I am going to be showing you all the technology of mobile and social media links within our iPurchase solution today. Let's just start and jump right in. I hope all of you are excited about this functionality within our iPurchase solution. So to start with, I just want to discuss the screen that's in front of you right now. This screen is the requisition workbench screen within iPurchase. This is where a user would go in and create a requisition for approval. The top half of the screen shows all of the header information for the requisition. So you have your supplier number, your ship to, bill to, the buyer, the originator, on behalf of. All this information can be changed as the user is entering the requisition. Once the user enters the requisition, they can add as many line items as they like to the current requisition. As you can see, I have one line item here for power cords. I have a quantity of 100, the cost is 100, and it's a $10,000 total cost for this rec. Also, on the top, you will see that this rec is in the pending state. And what that means is that the user has submitted this rec for approval and is waiting for the approvers to go through and approve the requisition to create a PO to send to the supplier. What I want to discuss right now are these four icons that are located next to the supplier number. These four icons are links to the CDW Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or their actual website page. Now, these links or icons that are added next to this supplier number field can be added to any field in the system. We are using the example for the supplier because a user may need to either go to the supplier's website, they may need to see some videos that the supplier has uploaded to YouTube, they might want some information from their LinkedIn page. But what's nice about this is that the user doesn't have to go to another tab or search using a search engine. They can just click to get to the supplier's website. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to click on the CDW icon here, and you'll notice I am now at the CDW website. This functionality makes life much easier for the user because now he, like I just said, does not need to leave the iPurchase page to get to any of these websites. Now, these four are just examples of what can be done within the system, but we all know that you can add anything to any field with any link. From that, I would just like to go to the Approval History tab. Now, on the Approval History tab, this tab shows the user or the approver or anyone that has access to the system what the approval routing will be for this specific requisition. Now, as you can see, this says Approval Attempt 2, submitted on 10/16 at 10:51 this morning. If I scroll down, you have Approval Attempt 1. So what this is showing me is after this was submitted, it was retracted by Frank and then resubmitted for approval. And that is why we have 2 attempts. You'll also notice that the first line in the approval attempt number 2 is for Robert Yanez, and he is at level 100 and he is pending. What happened is when the user submitted this requisition, the system automatically sent the first approver in line an email notifying them that they need to approve this requisition. Now, just to give you a little bit of an overview of approvals within iPurchase, approvals can work in 2 ways. They are sequential or simultaneous. And as you can see from the simulation here, that to have sequential approvals means that it goes in level order. So first Robert would have to approve, and then Trey, and then the legal group, and then the finance group, and then Craig. Simultaneous approvers is just like this. You'll see that there's 2 level 200s here. So what this is saying is that Trey and Frank both have to approve in order for it to get moved to the legal group, which Andy would have to approve and be notified. No one gets notified until the person before them approves the requisition. Okay. So from this point on, we are going to continue the demonstration using a mobile device. So I am going to open up the mobile device functionality here, and I'm going to go into my inbox. And as you can see, I have 3 emails already from this requisition. The first one is the first time the requisition was submitted. The second one is notifying me that it has been retracted by the originator. And then after he resubmitted it, I got the 3rd email, which now is stating that approval is required by me for this requisition. So now let's go through the screen, the requisition screen. So it says on the top of the email who it's to, and that Frank has submitted the email, the requisition, and that requires my approval. There are 3 action buttons across the top. There's the view button, the approve button, and the reject button. We'll get back to these 3 buttons as we continue. You can also send an email straight from this email to your help desk. Now let's get into the meat of the email. As you can see, you have all the header information, all of the master comments that are on this rec, the ship to, the ship via, the freight, the rec type. Now, just to let you know, master comments, suppliers, ship to, build tos, a lot of these fields are integrated into your QAD system. So they pull across into iPurchase when you either picked the correct supplier or you need to use specific master comments. You can even default the master comments based on the supplier that you choose. As we scroll down, we now see the line item that's on the requisition, which is the power cord, which we went over on the screen previous within my Safari on my desktop. And the last part of the email shows the approval routing and who needs to approve the or reject the requisition next, and when they were notified. As you can see, the only person here who's been notified has been Robert, and he's the first person in the line for the approvals. So now let's go back to the three buttons that were across the top: the view, approve, and reject. And what we're going to do first is go into the view section. So I click on the view, and it opens up my internet, my Safari mobile on my iPhone. And I have to log in as Robert because that's the person who's approving. So I click the login button, and you'll notice I am now at the requisition. This is the mobile screen for the requisition. If I click on the More link, it lists all the fields that are in the requisition, all the values for the data that have been entered for the fields that are on the requisition. It shows every field, no matter what type of field it is. If I go back, I can look at the line items within the requisition. Now, obviously, this requisition only has one line item, but if it had two line items, they would both be listed here. I can click More if I would like, and it will show me again. It goes back to all the fields that are on the screen, that are on the line item. If I go back, and I go back again, I can now go to the history of the requisition. Now, what the history of the requisition is showing me is all the times that this requisition has been submitted for approval and what has happened during those approval attempts. As you can see on approval attempt 1, it was retracted, and it was resubmitted, and that's why, again, we have the approval attempt 2. If I go back to the requisition, now this is the home screen. Now what this is showing me is all of the requisitions that I have to approve that are in iPurchase. This makes life much easier for the approver, because now the approver does not have to be in front of their desktop in order to approve a requisition. So you can see how this streamlines the process, because now the user can be anywhere. He can be on a golf course, he can be in a conference, he can be halfway across the country, he can be in a different country. All he needs is to have a device like an iPhone or an Android device or a BlackBerry or even a tablet or an iPad, internet access, and have access to the iPurchase solution within their organization. So let's go back into the same requisition we were just discussing, and let's go to the approve and reject link. If I go to the approve and reject link, I can approve or reject this requisition right from the screen. And if I reject the requisition, you must put in a note of why you are rejecting the requisition. And the last thing I can do is I could print this requisition right from my device, if my device obviously has to be connected to a printer. Now, this looks almost identical to the email that we just looked at. So when it prints, it will print exactly how it looks on your screen. Now, let's go back to the email, and let's approve this requisition directly from the email. So if I click approve, once again, it's going to open up my browser. I'm going to log in again. But what happens is once I log in, it automatically approves the requisition for me. Now, I can click here to view the requisition, or I can click here to go to iPurchase. If I click here to view the requisition, it opens the requisition again in its mobile format. If I go back to history, you'll notice now that Robert has approved it, and now both Frank and Trey both have to approve this rec next in line, and because they were both at level 200, and they both will get a notification about this requisition. I can go back to the email again, and if I could also reject it from here. If I reject the email from the email, once again, I will have to put in a note of why I'm rejecting it, right? And then it will reject the requisition right from the screen I just did when I approved the requisition. So now I just received the next notification that both Frank and Trey will have to approve this requisition. This will go on all the time now as I keep going, as people keep approving the requisition until the end. Once this requisition is completely approved, a PO will be created in QAD and be able to be viewed within the iPurchase solution. Also in the email, you will notice that it tells me that the people who had to approve before have approved the requisition. So as you can see, Robert has approved the requisition. It tells me when and time, date stamped. And now it's also telling me that Frank and Trey have both been notified about this requisition. The last thing I wanted to discuss quickly was text messaging. iPurchase also has the ability to do text messages. Okay? The text messages will look like this on the screen. When the approver will receive this, you'll notice that it tells you where it's coming from, how to view the requisition. You can just click on that link, who it's been submitted by, and that it requires my approval. It tells me who the supplier is and the total amount of the requisition. And again, I will reiterate that this is another way that the system can notify an approver that they need to approve the requisition, and how it streamlines your process because, again, the user can be anywhere with just cellular connectivity and be able to know that there is a requisition that needs their approval. And on that note, I'm going to pass it back to Kelly for her to finish the demonstration.
Thanks, Mike. Great demonstration. On a side note, I would like to add what you just saw in the technology that iPurchase offers. We offer a significant reduction in your cycle time, be it a sales quote or a PO requisition by using this technology. I'll give you two examples. Laird Technology, our customer reduced their sales to quote sale order cycle time on the average from 8 to 10 days to 2 to 3 days, and this is client feedback. And also, Abbott Laboratories reduced their PO requisition to purchase order cycle time on the average up from, again, 8 to 10 days, just a coincidence, to 2 to 3 days. And again, this is actual client feedback. We have it posted on our website along with testimonials and project snapshots if you would like to review. I'd like to thank you all for joining the webinar today. If you have any questions, you can feel free to contact me directly. My name again is Kelly Anderson at kanderson@issgroup.net. That's KANDERSON at issgroup.net. Or you can visit our website at www.issgroup.com. Or you can give me a call at 267-234-4737, or better yet, send me a text. I'll answer you as quickly as possible. Thanks again, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. It will be posted to our website if you would like to review or make referrals to it. And with that, we'll conclude the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Everybody have a great day.